coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them. With the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
But hey, that's just a theory. A theory.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yet you're coping and seething. The truth is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
Nah, demons, like demons.
It's WTF Live! Yes, it's WTF Live. As always, I am Will. That's Will of the Fans. See what I did there? Hope you're having a lovely, lovely day. I am joined, as always, by my erstwhile comrade, cohort, and compatriot, Mr. Ryan Roger Athe. Would you like to say hello?
Well, hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It's great to see you all watching today. I should probably increase my light power because, as you can see, my my shirt keeps changing color because of the lighting.
Oh, dear.
But yes, it is green, by the way, folks. But it's great to be here. We have a lot to talk about. We got to... oh, okay. What color do you think it is?
Looks more like turquoise to me, but okay.
Oh my. I always have this argument with my father. We have like a top and it's like it's gray and he says it's green. And I'm like, it's gray.
Oh, yeah.
But it's great to be here, folks, and hopefully we have a good talk about some topics of the day. And fingers crossed you will all enjoy. This guy's getting close to 5,000. I'm getting close to 2,300. We're all growing fast on this journey.
Yeah, that's especially impressive for you because your growth was quite a bit slower than that before, but it was only a couple of weeks ago that we were talking. Go on.
We received an endorsement from Orville Nation, a fine fellow creator, and as a result, some of his support base has come to support me. That's how I used to grow back in the early second run, not through any talent on my part, but that's why I say it's not what you know, it's literally who you know. So, yeah.
By and large, it is who you know, yeah. I mean, most of us met when we were all, and I mean, Hypnotic included, we were all like around 1,000. And everyone's grown at different rates, but that's helped because some of us can help each other out and signal boost each other. And that's what it's all about, you know. It's about building a team that can work together to apparently confront an obviously evil menace that keeps sweeping across all our pop culture and everything like that. But it's a long fight. We've had a couple of victories. Most notably, we had the Sony victory, the Helldivers 2 victory recently, which was a great thing. But of course, it immediately spun out into a load of utter noise and BS afterwards, as everybody started sort of not being sure what to do next because we've never won anything before. And of course, we had our good old friend Ms Mercante, who decided to just go right ahead and break the law immediately after. As I wish I had that clip ready with us just cracking
we have
up
another laugh again, Will?
Yeah. Why would you do that, woman? Why would you do it?
Oh,
Unbelievable. Oh yes, everyone's talking about bylines in the chat. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I have no idea what a byline is. Is that like something on a motorway or a railroad or whatever the fuck they're called?
No. No, it's in journalism. Or
is that the latest?
General.
Is that the latest term for like non-binary or something? I identify as a byline.
No, so okay, so there's been some confusion about the job status of our favorite simp queen. I can't even say with a straight face. ALYSSA MERCANTE. Today, we'll get to it later. I don't want to pay too much mind to it because it looks like a bit of a nothing burger at best, and at worst, a trolling attempt that actually succeeded with some people. So you know, we'll get to it. But bylines, for your benefit, Ryan, a byline is the literal line of text in an article that says who it is by. Oh, that is literally what it means. Like, you know, ALYSSA MERCANTE is a massive bitch by will of the fans. That would be the byline. You understand? So there you go. Apparently, fuck it. We might as well just address the bloody thing because everyone's going to want to know about it anyway. And earlier today, my time, I don't know what time zone anyone else is in, a few people started mentioning that they thought that in response to many of us calling for the employment status of one ALYSSA to be terminated, that had actually happened. People were suggesting that she had been axed by Kotaku, and a few people a bit quick off the trigger were throwing videos out, including sadly our friend Smash JT, who, shout out by the way, saw my video about his petition and what we'll be talking about tonight, and or this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are, and commented, shared it, and we've begun interaction. So that's really nice. He seems like a stand-up dude, and to be fair, I can't really fault him for jumping on top of the is she or isn't she was still working for Kotaku thing, because if someone had DM'd my wife to be on Facebook with a load of shit about me, don't get me wrong, she would have had the same response that we've seen that his had, which was just, oh, I don't take that kind of crap seriously, dear. You know, which is great because it means that we've found smart, intelligent, well-balanced women. But if somebody did that to me, I would be ready to tear them and their whole world and their legacy down to the ground for daring to even imagine entering into my private relationship with my partner and then trying to tear that down. I don't see that there's any way to forgive such a thing, really. Like you've deliberately tried to fuck up my marriage.
Absolutely.
No mercy. So I can see why plenty of people were celebrating when they thought that Miss MERCANTE might have lost her job. And to be fair, by rights, if all was well in the world, she absolutely should have. But it does appear that either she forgot to include Kotaku in her Twitter bio earlier for a little while and then re-added it, or she did it on purpose just to see how many of us would spurg out and make quick fire videos. Unfortunately, a couple of us did.
The bait and switch bitch, ladies and gentlemen. I told Will this. I told the fine folks over at Saturday Night Hypnosis this. Thank God for my video backlog. I've got like 20, 30 videos to make, folks, mostly from other shows such as this one. So I'm usually a few days late when it comes to breaking news stories. Of course, it's a damn shame that Smash and some others were like, hello, You're disturbing me. That's why I said close the door. Shoo.
Oh dear, Ryan, they're
Shoo.
having a
I have
private
to
moment.
close my door now. See you later.
Oh dear. Seems that Ryan has some familial issues to deal with there, but that's fine. We can get on fine without him for a couple of minutes. But yes, hey, you lurking in the shadows, watching this stream, but not liking it or participating in the chat. We, well, we can't see you. That's kind of how it works. But we are aware that you are there. And we would urge you to join in the conversation and like the video. Like the stream, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, and join the rebellion. Thank you, Rev, for the shout out. Very much appreciated.
I do apologize.
No, it's all good,
tell
man.
my
We'll have
father
stuff like that.
to politely piss off, but yes, he does try to sabotage me every
It's a
now
family.
and again.
It's a family home. You got to do what you got to do. I have the
I
same
know.
thing. I have my wife to be and my father. They both live with me. Basically, they both know that not to bother me when I'm doing this, but and that's great. I mean, my dad's usually watching, so that's great. He's at least one of the lurkers. As for the missus, she's probably asleep or watching something.
Well, that's understandable given her present condition. Although the point I was making, folks, is that thank goodness I didn't do this as a breaking news story. It's a damn shame Smash did, but folks, if you want me to be a nitpicker, thankfully I said that right. You could say a nitpicker. He had a question mark, so it's all fine. No. But I did find it funny that Atreus made a video about it. Just proves me right with each passing day.
Well, I was one of the people in the chat when he was adamant that this was real and it was happening. But, you know, everybody makes mistakes. At one point, I was sitting on the fence thinking, well, I mean, lucky for me, I have a backlog too. And I was out shopping in the mall and sorting my immigration status out. Everyone was talking. I bet you were. It's totally antisocial hours for the UK. But yeah, basically, some people were going, okay, what do we think of this? Is it real? Is it not real? What do we do? Do we jump on this? And is she trolling? Do we feed the beast, or do we sit and, you know? Because honestly, I mean, let's say, for example, that she did this as a troll, as a bait and switch to try and get us to leap on it and make a rapid fire video going, Alyssa Mercante has been fired from Kotaku. Ha 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 ha. That's what you get, bitch. You know. Yeah, great. We would have made the video and we would have looked a little silly, but I'm pretty sure everybody would have made a disclaimer in their video, just as Smash JT did at the beginning, to say, I don't believe this is actually happening. I think we're being trolled, and I think that is very, very sad. So either way, we would have worked it out. Anyway, it would either be ding dong, the witch is dead, or hey ho, the witch is still mad and pathetic and apparently desperate for attention. So I don't know what happened. I know Hypno mentioned it in Hypnocast. I didn't see it, but he told us that he had just mentioned it because he agreed with me that it was probably a troll. And yeah, so I didn't make a video because I had too many already waiting to go out, one of which about David Tennant, which is another topic that we will get to a little later. David Tennant and his beliefs about trans children, as they are known.
Nah, demons, like demons.
Sorry, that's my that's my concession, my compromise to Ryan, because he can't say his favorite phrase anymore.
That's our Atrean representation for the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, okay, bylines, yes, bylines. So what she actually did was she added bylines to her bio. I guess I can get her bio up if I log into another account for a second. Hold on. It won't take long. You got to be a bit careful, though, because if you actually do go to Alyssa's X feed, you are running the risk of seeing some pretty disturbing stuff. So let's see if I can get some screen. I know. I have to use a different account to do this because oh dear.
My reaction to this woman is like that Muslim. Brother, what's that?
There really is nothing. There really is nothing about her to like that I find appealing in the slightest.
No, she seems good in a burqa, Will.
She seems fairly desperate to get people to sort of passively acknowledge that she's a woman, and in some way, she sort of backhandedly wants you to tell her that she's attractive. But earlier on, I can't put it on the screen because it's not safe for work. But she had
send it to me privately.
You don't want to see it, mate.
I'm
You
just
don't
having
want
a
to
laugh.
see it. I'm telling you. She basically
I'm having a
you can just
laugh.
put this in there. She this is her feed, right? So she's changed her picture today. Earlier on, apparently, she added bylines to her doc. And you see, this is why I didn't want to do this, because this is not a story. This is just giving attention to someone who completely does not deserve it. It's just that she's managed
this
to
is why
foster
I
so
told
much.
you.
Yeah, not to do it until
I was
the
just
end.
gonna
Yeah, but
say, Will, that's why I told you to cover this last, not first.
yeah, I know. Yeah, but everyone was asking about it, so fuck it. So whatever, we'll do it anyway. We'll do everything in the wrong order. She added this. This is a nothing burger. She added this to her profile, and in the process, apparently removed Kotaku. And a few people kind of flipped out and said, "Okay, it looks like she's been fired from Kotaku." And it was like, maybe we should wait and see. No, she's been fired from Kotaku. Are you sure? Yeah, well, she's definitely been fired from Kotaku. Well, what if she's just trolling to try and make us talk about it, which I am now doing? Well, that's not going to be the case. That's not the case. No. No way. She's been fired. She's a bitch, and she's been fired. She deserves it. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. And then it turned out that Kotaku reappeared, of course, as we can see live right now on the profile. But as I did call this video, this stream rather, the crimes of ALYSSA MERCANTE, it is worth pointing out that she is just full of trash. This woman has look at that picture. This is. I don't want to be like her and issue hit pieces on people. I need to be the better man, But oh well. All right, fuck it. All right, fine. Let's just laugh at her.
Where the fuck are your eyebrows, bitch?
I know. God. They don't exist. I know. Yeah, she's got more eyebrows than tits, though. I can tell you that much. That's what I was alluding to.
Goodness.
If you go too far down this feed, you're going to end up seeing some nudes of her because she mentioned that other people apparently are replying to her bullshit by posting her nudes. And there it is. See, reply guys, posting my nudes on every Kotaku story, totally normal behavior. You've driven some people fucking mental, apparently. And I'm not gonna scroll down any further, because if I do, you are gonna see a fried egg, a vertical fried egg, because that's the reality of.
My goodness, I certainly need an alt account now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do, mate. Yeah, you do. Yeah, but I would love to put it on, because I did research it earlier on. I saw the picture. I shuddered when I saw what she's offering beneath the tank tops, and and then I noticed the comments. It was some of the most vicious takedowns. Someone said pathetic tits, and I just barely laughed. This woman, right? Don't get me wrong, right? Again, I want to be the better man. I want to take the high ground. I don't want to keep giving too much attention to this woman for nothing happening, which is what happened today. Nothing happened today. Okay, so there's that. But we will get to the various things she's done that have drawn the ire of every gamer. And she's earned it, and she's earned it the hard way. She deserves everything that's coming to her. So I'm not saying don't mock poor ALYSSA MERCANTE. I'm saying mock her for the shit she's done, not the shit that she hasn't done, because that then just makes us look as spiteful and childish as she is, and we don't need that in our ranks. Do you know what I mean, Ryan?
Yeah. You say that, but then I just instantly laugh as soon as I saw her face. Don't be childish, folks. and then I laugh. It's
Okay, you see, this
But-
is the thing. This is why you shouldn't touch these nothing burger stories, because
I know.
there are a lot of people in this space, on this internet, in the gaming fellowship community, brotherhood, whatever you want to call it, who unironically fucking hate this woman. Like, they fucking hate her, especially after what she did yesterday or the day before, depending on your time zone, to smash JT. And there are a lot of people who really, really, really want to see this woman lose, suffer, pay, beg, cry, scream, lose, and perhaps even, disappear. But as for me, I feel like whenever they cry like that they're getting death threats or whatever, I'm like, guys, don't kill her. If you kill her, she won't learn nothing.
No one clipped that.
Yeah. Anyway, don't kill Alyssa Mercante. Mock the fuck out of her, so she understands the way the world actually is instead of the pathetic echo chamber that she lives in. Anyway, there you go. That's it. But why do we all have such an issue with this woman, Ryan? Why do we have an issue?
Well, number one, she's an agent of the establishment. Number two, she's a glorified sex worker parading as a video games journalist. Number three, she has mocked content creators in the past on several occasions, whether that's accusing us all of having god-awful teeth or smelly bottoms, all the way to mocking our thumbnail designs. So, yeah, that's just
I didn't catch that one.
Never mind threatening fellow creators and their families, to name but a few. And just for one of those things, if she gives as good as she gets, well, what's going to happen? It's the back and forth that we always see, and it's going to get worse unless she fucking does her job, either as a sex worker or as a video games journalist.
Yeah, it's all the same to us. Either way, she's contributing very little of value to only about one or two people at a time, while the rest of us are standing laughing. Doesn't matter if she does that as a journalist for Kotaku or as a sex worker for homeless bums, whatever. But the bottom line is she is a pretty terrible person. She's revealed herself on multiple occasions now to be a person of shocking morals and ethics, a person who is obsessive, childish, jealous, covetous, ruthless, heartless, merciless, and deranged. Because I ran out.
Who identifies as a byline?
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? That what bylines is supposed to subtextually mean? Because no, but she's put that she's bylines. I guess means credited writer for, in the case that she's using it. Because it took me fucking hours to figure this out. And hello, Cassie, how you doing? You all right there?
Oh, look,
thanks for
Asmongold's friends is in the chat.
Asmongold's concubine is here.
Yeah.
The coiner of the term fuck shit, which I am especially a big fan of because it's so brazenly rude. I like stuff like that. It just makes me laugh. Yeah, nice to see you, Cassie. Thanks for stopping by. And Tom Wright is here. That's a new face, new name rather. For me, seeing on a live chat, it says I don't know her, but the thought of eggy tits puts me off. Yeah. I don't really know how else to describe it. You know, like a fried egg thrown at a wall. That's kind of what she looks like underneath.
My goodness. Who would pay for this? My goodness.
I don't know. Look, once again, I would like to make a very clear declaration here that I try to conduct myself in a way that is at least gentlemanly 90% of the time in my personal life, my professional life, and as a media personality or a moderate, tiny public figure, right? I try to, I will say what I think. I'll be a little snarky. I'll be a little rude, but I won't be cruel, merciless, and childish, generally speaking. But I feel like the number of things that this woman has done in the last couple of months and I'm gonna need a timeline. We're gonna have to work on this all together, guys, because there's been so much that I cannot remember all of it anymore. That she has done and said, and people she's attacked and thrown shit at from her lofty ivory crumbling Kotaku tower made of fucking pasta. That she is, I don't care anymore. I basically, the way I look at it is, all bets are off for this chick now. Like, just say whatever you want. I don't care.
Absolutely. And my one rule, ladies and gentlemen, is so long as it's reality based, I'm gonna fucking say it, because I've been accused of many things. Not a lie. Someone did accuse me of lying once, but they confused an error with a lie. They confused malice with simple incompetence. I'm 24 after all. I'm far from my peak, physically or mentally. So in that respect, I will say what needs to be said, so long as it's reality based, which is my namesake.
Well said. So I really mean this, guys. First of all, I'm just gonna do a quick aside here, because before we get too far down the rabbit hole, I seem to have lost my ability to show starred messages, but there we go. There's one, and it's LOD689 gifting 1 Will of the Fans membership. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, LOD689. Always, whoa, that's another one. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, well, live streams, eh? Anyway, yeah, I appreciate that very much. It's very helpful. It always helps, and someone out there is benefiting from it as well. So thank you very much. Also, if you guys would like to shoot some super chats our way, donate memberships to anybody, go ahead. You feel free to then recommend a hot chick. I'll find some pictures and display them at the end. Also, a brief kind of pre-announcement announcement. I'm gonna be running a tournament for most of the rest of this year, wherein I want to decide what is the king of the fans. And when I say king of the fans, I mean it could be a video game, a movie series, it could be a TV show, it could be a comic book, basically from any era, no rules, but just nominate it in comments or DM me or send me an email or whatever suggestions you want to have for what is the best game, the best JRPG, the best action RPG, the best action movie, the best thriller movie, the best anime, the best comic book, whatever. It will all be categorized and pitted against one another for the rest of this year in brackets, and you can vote for them with your super chats. By the end of the year, we will know who is the champion, the king of the fans for 2024.
Well, I've
so
got
let's
two.
Do that.
I got 2 for video games. The Mass Effect trilogy and the Dragon Age saga. Whatever you guys and gals may think of those choices, I'm not including fucking Andromeda. And I am praying.
I guess
I am
both
praying that Dragon Age Dreadnought is at least not Dreadnought. That would actually be a good name. Dragon Age Dreadwolf.
That is actually a pretty good name.
Yeah, Dragon Age Dreadnought.
Yeah. So there you go. King of the Fans tournament will start soon. I just need some recommendations. I'm gonna throw in original Final Fantasy VII, Zelda Ocarina of Time, that kind of stuff. Favorite games, favorite movies, whatever you think is the best. Obviously, Lord of the Rings trilogy, Star Wars original trilogy. They're automatic entries. I haven't quite worked out all the kinks yet. So do we do this by film or by franchise? We'll get there, basically. So keep that in mind as we proceed through the rest of this year, and that will be a fun little interactive thing we can do. But speaking of interaction, for the benefit of this stream, help me to remember all the damn things that Alyssa Mercante has done, because this is the crimes of Alyssa Mercante. And as far as I can remember, Ryan, it began when we knew who she was before. She'd said a couple of stupid things in a few dumb articles, but she wasn't a known name. We all discovered her at the same time, pretty much when she entered the Sweet Baby Inc. Discord server, I believe, and tried to
yes.
dox a bunch of people. Am I correct, guys? In the chat, is that your first experience of Mercante being a Mercante? Let me know as we proceed, because I've got her efforts to dox people on the screen here. Now, of course, being a brazenly idiotic, arrogant narcissist, and also, by the way, the single worst member of Foxhound in the history of Foxhound. I don't know what we would call her. I mean, Flaccid Turd would be a good name, I guess, for her class in Foxhound.
You had Solid Snake. You had Solid Snake. You had Liquid Snake. You had Solid Snake. In this case, you have Flaccid Snake.
Well, we've got. Well, I mean, definitely Snake fits, but it's too high ranking. So I'm thinking more, you know, Loud Weevil or something, you know, Weasel or something really hideous and horrible, pathetic, feeble, and not at all good at stealth. You know, that would be the correct Foxhound rank for Mercante, because she obviously heard what was happening with the Sweet Baby Inc. detected group started by Cabrutus, and God, that was only a couple of months ago now, I think, that this all began. Gamergate
late
2
February, early March, around that time.
That was it. The beginning, when we all just sort of sensed a shift in tone, despite the media, the games media, trying to bait us into another Gamergate for years and years and years. It wasn't until that time when we really started to feel that something had hit up a level of just such disrespect that it was actually time to start throwing the word around ourselves and start calling ourselves Gamergate again, you know? And it was a big deal because they haven't got an inch on us since. We have dominated them like they haven't necessarily had to make any massive changes. We haven't been able to really enact any change until just a couple of days ago. But they're fucking terrified because they can't make us shut up by calling us names anymore.
Exactly. And you see a new generation of content creators spring up as a result. Cabrutus is a great example, but he is one of many in that respect. I wonder how well Grums would do if he was a content creator on,
at this point, fantastically,
YouTube. So I would encourage him to start that off, to shadow his Twix profile. Of course, Savvy, Madam Savvy.
Go on.
Well, yeah, it's understandable, but you have Madam Savvy, who is finally being convinced to restart her content creator endeavors. So you're seeing people coming in, as well as you know, new names starting to pop up who will refine the method of content creation onwards into the future. My goodness, really? Damn. Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're right. There's a new wave. There was a new wave already. We are part of that wave. There are people who used to be in the game who got out of the game and they've come back to the game. Hell, I've even seen, you know, OG Gamergators like Sargon and Razorfist weighing in on this, although in the latter's case, it was for a long time, it was mostly black pilled stuff like stop, don't even bother, it's done, it's dead. Until the Sony victory the other day, at which point he put out a video, Razorfist, I mean, which he called Take a Bow. You beat Sony. And I thought this is going to be sarcastic, right? No, it was in earnest. He was saying congratulations to everyone who boosted or participated in the backlash to Helldivers 2 and all that shit, because it's a sincere victory for Gamergate. A real one.
I'm Razorfist with a colored camera. You can't tell the difference.
I actually meant to full screen you, but I just kicked you out instead by mistake. Oh well, there you go. Total professional.
I can't speak as sharply as that man can. It's like a mix of Ben Shapiro and the Critical Drinker.
Yeah, he's got a very percussive way of talking. I'm able to replicate it sometimes, but only after a couple of Red Bulls. Then I can shoot words faster than Eminem, but that's mostly because I was a hyperactive kid. But the point is, I don't know, I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, Razorfist was in there. He was congratulating everybody. Sargon's been joining. Of course, Carl Benjamin, he's doing Lotus Eaters now, but he's been back for a while now, weighing in on the bigger picture of the culture war, you know, the themes, the philosophies and stuff. And some of the latest videos that he's put out are among the best he's ever put out, as far as I'm concerned. So that's great. Gamergate 2 is alive, well, blazing as an inferno at this point. It's not going anywhere, and I don't believe they'll be able to get us to stop this time because they can't scare us with their pathetic cancel culture anymore. That means then, unfortunately, that a new wave of corrupt, corrosive cunts had to arrive, and one of them is our good friend here, who decided...
I first discovered this female as a result of when Grums was on Saturday Night Hypnosis. That's when I personally first became aware of it.
As long as that?
Yeah, of this female in question. Because, guys, you know me. On Twix, I barely interact. Except to tell folks whether I'm going to make videos or not, or whether I'm going to do a show or not. So I'm very limited when it comes to being a social media personality. I just focus on the videos I make and the shows I make and go from there. So I wasn't really aware of this female until Grums was on Saturday Night Hypnosis. And then, you know, I saw
she made
myself.
It personal, of course. Yeah,
I saw myself in a fucking screenshot. And I'm like, yay, I'm getting publicity. Thank fucking goodness. But of course it was, yes. And it was
Can't see you in that, but you can see
No, I'm on the far left, which is wrong.
You're opposite me, right?
I should be where Wyatt is on the far right, where I belong. But in all seriousness, when I saw that,
I reckon I should be in the middle, all the way at the bottom where Atreus is, if we're talking political leaning.
Yeah, but I did see this and I thought, oh, that's great. Nice publicity. I did call her lots of nasty things because of the fact that she was stalking this gentleman, this fine gentleman in Grums. And as a result, I got blocked, which proved to me that she was watching the fucking show. And either her or one of her minions weren't even smart enough to get a screenshot that would actually condemn us even more. Because I found a screenshot on the same damn stream with Atreus wearing the clown getup. You know?
Oh yeah, that would have been funny. She couldn't have used that though, because it would have been. It would have been no. She could have used that, yeah, because it would have been the black guy acting like a clown. They could have spun that into some shit.
Sure.
TJAP Steve says you reposted a picture on Discord. Can you DM me or something? Because I'm not sure where to look, or which Discord for that matter. But anyway,
I also hate using Discord. Fucking hate it.
Yeah, Discord is I'm somehow I'm very tech savvy. I'm good with software. I can fix most problems any computer will run into if it's a software issue. Cannot figure out Discord. I'm useless at it. I just don't get it. There's too many bells and whistles for me. If anyone wants to help me run my Discord, please make yourself known and I will give you mod status on it if you're a trusted person. No sock puppet Alyssa accounts, okay? But anyway, yeah, so basically Alyssa Mercante went from being a minor thorn in gamers' side to a cancer that we had to dig out rapidly. As soon as we discovered, there's my good friend, actually. I haven't seen him for a long time. Nice to see you, Ian. How you doing? Anyway, yeah, so Alyssa Mercante, she escalated things considerably when she decided to try and go full Shadow Moses and enter the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected Discord group, whereupon she outed herself as the worst secret agent in the history of secret agents. Ah, yes, I remember this. I'll find it and put it on the screen. Well done. She had her face in her profile. She had her name as her name. And she proceeded to immediately ask everybody if they would like to dox themselves. If anyone would like to chat about this Discord and the Steam page, let me know. Thanks. Is there a reason why many of you don't have your names and pictures associated with your accounts on here? knowing what we know about her now, she knows exactly why people don't use their real names and faces on their Discord in a server that's going to attract these kind of snakes.
Yeah, very, very few people do it. It is very rare. I am personally one of the outliers because let's face it, folks, when you look like this and you sound like this, you don't really have anything to lose. I am literally the living embodiment of white privilege. But and since I have nothing to lose, I do not fear this bitch or what she tries to do, because that's one part of staying under the radar. You get all the pluses and none of the minuses.
Right, of course. Anyway, we have continued to see her behave in this kind of way ever since, but it began with her basically just, look, she's just messaging random trash. Interesting. Why do you think that? Still here. Just curious if anyone could speak to the creation of this server, the Steam page, and why they feel monitoring SBI work is important. And back then, we were still a little naive compared to now. We were wondering why the fucking hell this company is attracting so much attention from these radical left-wing journalists. Like, why are they all springing to defend this one company? It wasn't until a little later that we discovered that it was basically all the surviving enemies of Gamergate 1 that had funded or participated in the foundation of this fucking company before moving on to other things. So, yeah, it was in many ways, we kind of accidentally uncovered their sacred cow with Sweet Baby Inc., you know, and they did not like it at all that we had found out their game, that they had never gone anywhere. They hadn't buggered off like we had, gone back to our PlayStations and our PCs and our Xboxes. No, they had dug in deeper. They had got in even more. They were no longer just in journalism. They were in the industry. They were consulting on the games. And that's why we were getting things like Spider-Man 2, where the city's covered in trans flags and you have to play significant portions of it not as Peter Parker. And also, you know, of course, the ultimate insult, which was when Harley Quinn shoots the Kevin Conroy final appearance of Batman in the face, the Batman that you played in 3 or 4, depending on your canon, games as, and then she just unceremoniously murks him with a shot to the face, and it's the final. That was really it. I wonder if Kevin Conroy if there is an afterlife, if he has any idea that his death would be not directly but indirectly related to a gigantic revolution in the gaming industry because of the disrespect that he was shown and Batman was shown and gamers were shown by that scene from Sweet Baby Inc.'s inclusion in the development of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
And this entire situation has created a domino effect, which then led to Cabrutus, led to Grums, led to Mercante going after Grums on several occasions, which led to more and more people highlighting the problem with this creature and her simps. And I think Hypnotic has to be credited for highlighting that by having Grums on, because I don't think many people saw that beforehand, as far as I'm aware, certainly from my perspective. And it has, in the classic case of a domino effect, snowballed into where we are today, where this creature is so desperate she has to bait and switch to get a win, and she threatens people's families and wives. That's where we're at now.
Yep. So while I'm wrapping this one up, and quick shout out to my good buddy Cliff Ian Murillo, who has become a member of his own volition. Very good. Well done, Ian. Great stuff. Thank you. And while I'm at it, I might as well also mention that even though something's wrong here, I'm not getting my my super chats automatically starred. Something's going terrible. A little while ago, I saw, yes, Cirrus Rhoda gifted 1 Will of the Fans membership. Thank you very, very much. And scrolling back up again, T-Jab Steve with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very, very much as well.
Will telling everyone to be nice to the foreigner, that's going to be very difficult for me.
Be nice to my friend. He's a good lad. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time. We'll have to catch up soon. Lots has changed. But there you go. Anyway, so yeah, this is ALYSSA MERCANTE trying desperately to infiltrate the Sweet Baby Inc. detective group. Now, of course, at that point, Gamergate 2, I think it was only really Hypno and me that was saying it's Gamergate 2. Most people were very hesitant to call it that, and I understand why. The original Gamergate has been smeared so badly that the journalists thought that like begging for round 2 would actually be good for them. It's why they spent years trying to annoy gamers as much as they possibly could. Not a good plan. But apart from that, I'm going to just put this up on here as well because it was shared to me as well. This is, of course, the brilliant picture of ALYSSA MERCANTE as Solid Snake, or actually Naked Snake in this picture, sneaking in to a heavily defended area, saying, "Why, hello there, fellow normal persons. Would any of you wish to share personal information and be quoted out of context by a non-suspicious box? Guys, totally not ALYSSA MERCANTE." And, you know, that's actually some funny foreshadowing there, because we have subsequently seen at least one really brazen act of completely misrepresenting somebody in an interview, and that was only in this last week. Jesus, this chick is up to her work rate since Gamergate 2 started. So what happened next? What happened after she first infiltrated the group? I'm trying to remember, because she kind of vanished for a little while after that, I think. We were all mocking her. We were all laughing at her for trying to sneak in. And then she started appearing on people's streams. I know she was in Khalif. What's his fucking
Sugar
name?
Bear Adams. Khalif
That's it.
Adams.
Khalif Adams. Yeah, of course. That's it. Was that the next thing, or have I missed something out, chat? Let me know. I might have forgotten something.
In regards to this timeline,
let's get a
folks,
picture of him up. It's always good for a laugh, isn't it? There you go.
In regards to this timeline, folks, you should just try and check our back catalogs, because then you can.
Yeah, you'll know, because I don't have time to do that.
You can find the pieces of the puzzle yourself, and that's a great thing that will hone your abilities, folks. That's why when you look at the start of the Phantom Menace, and then the evolution to the Fellowship, it's not really set out in stone. You've got to find the bits.
Oh, you got to go to multiple channels to find that out. Yeah.
I mean, likewise with Friday Night Tights, you know, they recently passed 300 episodes, but I can only find as far back as 150. You have to go somewhere else to find the original.
Yeah, that's about the time they actually started numbering them. Yeah. I think they went back and retroactively did it after that, but yeah, that's why I thought it would be nice to number these right from the get-go, because it's much easier for categorization and remember number 16 was really great and blah blah blah. Actually, people did say number 16. The last one we did was really excellent. This one's a bit more scattered because we're trying to put together ALYSSA MERCANTE's trail, and when the person in question is that scattered, you've got no chance. In
the chat, Tom makes a very good point, because I tried to make this point. This fucker looks like me. I tried saying this on Saturday Night Hypnosis, and no one fucking believed me. This fucker looks like the black version of me.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Nah, demons, like demons.
Oh no, he does. I said he looks like gay Uncle Phil.
Yeah,
as if from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Or what was the other one? I said he looks like. I gotta find a different picture of him.
He's like he's got red, because I have tortoiseshell glasses.
He looks like the black Greg Miller. He does. Do you know who Greg Miller is?
No, but I have better teeth than him. I'll say
Greg
that.
Miller is a former IGN contributor who used to be one of the hosts of the Beyond podcast, which was the official PlayStation podcast of IGN. Unfortunately, he's also a raving leftist and a complete nerd. I'm trying to find a picture of him that does what I'm trying to capture justice.
Great comment.
So
from,
I can.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh my!
If this guy was black, he would look like that.
Well, Sanguine makes a very great comment about, yeah, they should hire Khalif Adams to do a Netflix original of a reality-based. Oh my goodness! And
Someone should sue Greg Miller. Seriously,
and
someone
he had
stole his
pink-
license.
He had
Is it
pink
like this?
fucking headphones, this fucker, as well, when he was talking to McCunty, who didn't
I
have
know.
her camera aligned properly. She was like this.
I know she looked terrible, and unlike Hypno, no one paid him to have those headphones either. So
No.
so there's that. Yeah. So if you had Greg Miller and you race swapped him, if you made a Netflix special about Greg Miller, this is the motherfucker you would cast. This is they're just so fucking goofy. And then of course it's just gay Uncle Phil. This guy is cringe. She appeared, of course, on his is it a
Show.
podcast or is it?
I
don't
always
really
call
know
it
much
show.
about him.
I call it show
Yeah.
because I hate the idea of a podcast. I hate it even more now that there is literally something called a reality-based podcast on a channel called Rattlesnake. So it's a good job I said I hate podcasts. So yeah. Oh god.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, this was cringe. I mean, everything about this show was awkward to watch. She had we'll get to David Tennant, don't you worry about that. She was unbearable, and he just simped for every single word that came out of her dirty mouth. As she pretended to be somehow a normal human being, but basically just used this guy's platform to shit on us gamers, real people, normal people. To be fair, I reckon she could kick his ass. Someone asked, Dwayne Pipe asked, which one's more manly? Well, she's got smaller tits and bigger muscles. So
look at the
there
name
you
of
go.
his channel.
Dawn
Episode
on me.
511,
I haven't noticed
Alyssa McCunty visits Brookago.
Chicago, dude.
Fucking foreigner bastard.
I mean, it's nonsense because she's from Brooklyn and I guess he's from Illinois or somewhere like that. You can tell she's from Brooklyn, of course, because she acts like she's tough as fuck all the time. But yes, her camera's off center. She's just using his platform to insult gamers. He's insulting gamers too. He's got those cringe hot pink headphones. And it was just, I don't know how long the episode was. It ran, I don't know, actually. I didn't even watch the whole thing. And it was just a long...
McCunty is the Vince Russo of games journalism.
Why? Because she does things deliberately to annoy the fans.
Yes, and they're both from New York, and they're both fucking obnoxious, and they both destroy everything they touch.
That's a fair point. Yeah, okay. I'll allow it. So anyway, what happened after that then, Ryan? It's been such a long time. I can't really remember.
Well,
she was on that show, and then she kind of disappeared again for a few weeks.
She's an opportunist. That's why I think she'd make a decent content creator and get a decent following as a content creator. She is an opportunist. She's an agent of the establishment, and she's very good at highlighting perceived problems on her side. And she has a fucking horde of simps like this bastard, because I can't call him black or brown in the same sentence, and other simps like that roid rage motherfucker who always gets ratioed by Hypno.
That dickhead. Yeah.
That's why I said.
Oh, I gotta find that. Let me see if I can
That's
find
why I
that.
said some time ago, Will, I think this woman could get many thousands, if not low tens of thousands of support on YouTube, but she doesn't have the consistency or dedication necessary to be a skilled content creator. She would fall at the fourth great foe. She wouldn't face fucking channel suppression. She's an agent of the establishment. I don't know her schedule, but she certainly likes to weigh in when it comes to hostile creator factions, so she can certainly handle that sector. Essentially, folks, she's like the B-rated version of Brie Larson, and she's as likable as fucking Vince Russo. Thank you, fuck you, bye. There we go.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. And Smash JT is in the chat. feel free to jump on, sir, if you'd like to. I can send you a link if you're interested.
Follow me, Smash, so we can have you on Reality Based. Follow me on Twix.
And my friend Ian there saying she looks like she speed runs a dating sim game. Very good. So we go. Yeah, speaking of the guy that you're talking about, this is the fucking loser, John Phipps, aka Big Hairy Burly Muscle Guy. I mean, you might as well say roid shrinkage. That's basically all we're getting from it. At Magitech Dad, which is an unfortunate name because that sounds like a kind of a cool name for a father to have. You know, Magitech Dad. Yeah, the Final Fantasy VI reference there. That's pretty cool. But unfortunately, this guy is the world's biggest Alyssa Mercante simp, and as a result of that, he's basically he's just an idiot. I mean, retarded. I mean, this guy's brain is dead. I'm not joking. He literally cannot say anything without dropping a clanger. He says, well, I'm dry now. Any woman who sees the below image. I pointed out that actually there are plenty of people who have kind of a little crush on Hypno, even though they can't see his face. I think they just dig his voice and the way he talks.
And his massive shoulders. Women are insanely attractive to Hypno's massive shoulders. Right. He couldn't put that in his avatar, folks, because it's not wide enough.
There's no resolution big enough. Yeah, that's right. But anyway, I told him he's beyond retarded because basically he said, this Phipps fucker said that everyone should be stopping acting like victims because Mercante went after Smash JT's wife. I said, you're beyond retarded. Sorry for calling you just retarded before. Guys who are outraged about a man's wife being dragged into their conflict are men with women they want to protect, not victims. All the muscles in the world can't teach that if you're a born simp, John. He replied, apology accepted.
Yeah, you laughed your fucking head off when you first.
I literally recorded myself laughing and put it in our private chat.
Jesus
He's so fucking stupid. This is Alyssa's audience. He is so fucking stupid that he actually accepted my apology for only calling him retarded before. So I answered him, you accept my apology for calling you only retarded. My God, man, you really are actually our light of gray matter. This is Alyssa's audience.
I mean, this guy is part of a group of fellow creators who are part of a channel that is a complete non-starter. If they actually work together, they could make something of it. But I've seen one-man bands such as myself, such as Will, and also such as Hypno, do far better in that regard. But these people, they have the disadvantages of the establishment alongside the disadvantages of a content creator. They can't organize themselves, and they're simply simping in the hopes of getting establishment support, which I think is truly desperate.
Yeah, I don't think this is like regular simping. I don't think this guy actually wants Alyssa because, I mean, God, who would? But he does seem to be desperately trying to, you know, get attention from someone who previously would have had a blue check mark back when they represented what they want, which was mainstream attention and support. Whereas now they just represent that you're serious enough to pay for it, which they're not. And LOD689 has gifted one more Will of the Fans membership. What the hell is going on? The whole chat green. Thank you, everybody who's been doing that. Oh, fuck it. Let's have another one. Why not? Amazing. Yeah, it's great to see everybody's turning green at the moment. Yeah, so what happened next? I'm trying to think now because there's been so much. She really didn't start ramping things up until a little later. She disappeared for a little while, but then what happened after that? I'm trying to think.
I personally think, Will, that with the support of these simps, it truly emboldened her to go on the offensive. Right. And then she completely snapped when Smash JT pushed through an initiative, most likely inspired by Cabrutus's SBI detected and Grums's Stellar Blade petition to have hashtag end Kotaku, and she completely fucking snapped and went after Smash JT, went after his wife, and in doing so, going after his family. And that's a line you do not cross, folks. There aren't any written rules to content creation. But you don't dox motherfuckers, and you don't go after folks' families.
Yeah, there are still rules of engagement, even in a culture war like this, or an information war, as John the White was calling it when we did our Warhammer stream together. You know, at the end of the day, we have signed up for this, right? You are participating in this willingly. I am participating in this willingly. Hypnotic and Atreus and Leon and everybody we know, Cassie, everybody is participating in this in whatever way they feel that they can voluntarily. Everybody in the chat and the people who subscribe to our channels are participating in this global backlash to cultural Marxism disguised as progressivism. And we are all sick of being lied to. We're sick of anti-customer practices. We have all decided that it is so egregious to us personally that we're willing to actually go out there, put something of ourselves out there on the internet, take part in it, and deal with the shots that get fired back at us. My wife-to-be has not made that call. She has not decided to to participate in this. She is a civilian, if you like, if we're going to use military and war terms to describe this culture war. She is not a participant. And if somebody were to involve her, I would just fucking snap. I mean, I really feel that that would probably push me over the edge into some very negative behavioral patterns that I would rather not engage in.
Absolutely.
Some lines I don't want to cross, you know.
In my case, folks, I try to keep my father away from being a content creator, because if you think I'm reality based, I try my best to be diplomatic.
Oh, I imagine, yeah.
And as a result, I try to keep him away from this part of the world because he doesn't have any rules of engagement. That's the kind of person he is.
Yeah, 100%. I guess just before we can get into this because the article's going to cover it anyway. But basically, yeah, of course, they're saying here. This one is John De La Rose saying no one's been more unhinged since the Sweet Baby Ink drama erupted than Kotaku's ALYSSA MERCANTE. From the moment she wrote an article gaslighting gamers on what was going on with the DEI gaming controversy, she's been on a rampage against those reporting accurately on the subject like Grums. Now that, I guess, would be the next big thing that she really kind of did, was the constant stalking and attacking of Grums, lies upon lies upon lies about a guy who is, I mean, first of all, only white adjacent. Let's be fair. The man is Taiwanese. So, and I don't care.
Actually, he's Chinese.
Shut up, Ryan. I don't care about your fucking geopolitical bullshit. Not interested. Okay. He's from Taiwan. All right.
He's from real China.
He's, for fuck's sake. All right. Whatever. You fucking pain in the ass. Anyway. So whatever. The point is that you know, would have shielded him in another era, but it is not apparently unwhite enough anymore, especially when and Grums has 100% signed up, like what I was just talking about, but far more than any of us. He is on this every day, using his connections, using his experience as a professional from the game industry, as someone who has experienced this firsthand. He is in there just throwing out buckets and buckets of information for all of us to promote and boost and talk about day after day after day after day. And there's no way this movement would have got as far as it has without Grums.
And he is a moderate. Grums is a moderate, and
most of us are.
And he's a reformer. He wants to make pop culture great again. He wants to make gaming great again using the reformist path instead of, you know, the revolutionist path of literally being the change you want to see and building your own viable alternatives. And I think the majority of content creators are reformists at heart and are moderates at heart. They want to see things made great again with existing systems because they know how difficult it is to build from scratch. The Rippaverse
100%.
is proof of how difficult that endeavor is. But yeah, that's why we're stuck in this cycle of highlighting the problem and finding the solution, because we want it to reform and get better for the most part.
We definitely do. I mean, there's the simple fact is that for the last 10 years, we've been slowly watching all of our entertainment become polluted by this just literal cultural Marxism. That's what it actually is, you know, and it's obviously taken a long time for them to get the systems in place, something like 100 years, if you do all your research, to get the pieces in place to brainwash an entire generation of people, you know, all of that stuff, to convince them that this system is correct, that the solution, for example, to racism is more racism just pointing in the other direction. You know, more systemic, more egregious racism, just, you know, being a terrible person to one particular group because in your eyes they're the enemy, without learning any lessons from, say, the 1930s and 40s, and without learning any lessons from every stupid communist revolution that's ever happened and resulted in mass death. You know, you just can't teach these people. They are brainwashed, and Mercante is one of them. We've seen this happening for years and years and years, absolutely fucking ages, and we're all so damn tired of it that, like I said, we've all come together separately to do what we think should be done. And in most cases, it amounts to nothing more than bitching and moaning. But I mean, you need that. You absolutely need that. You need more people need to realize that they are part of a very problematic existence, a very difficult, trying era. And especially in the West, which is whatever you want to say in your films and TV shows, still a roughly 70% white, that we are being vilified rather, and made into the scapegoat for all the world's fucking problems, even though we solved most of them in the last 100 years. These people do not live in reality. They are relentless. They will not stop, and they are organized. And the only thing that can take them down is the same.
Well, that's why I say, Will, 3 steps to victory. Highlight the problem, find the solution,
Yeah, sure.
Be the change you want to see. But there are also 2 paths of that, the reformer path and the revolutionary path. You know, reform what is,
but we don't
or replace it.
We don't want to tear it down.
No.
We don't. But ultimately, I think it's already been reformed, unfortunately, by them on the other side. And reforming it back will take a very long time. But at the same time, revolution, burn it all down. Let's see them all close. Let's see it all go bust. I wouldn't actually care if the games industry crashed tomorrow. I would be a bit sad, but I wouldn't like go to pieces over it, because someone will bring it back. I mean, you won't take down Nintendo anyway, but if everything else were to fall apart, it wouldn't be the worst thing, because something better would be built in its place, hopefully rooting out this cancer, or an even worse industry would happen that no one ever partakes in anyway, so it would just die a death. And there are still thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of video games I've never played, so I'm pretty good to go for the rest of my life. And probably
I will agree with
life.
Smash JT. None of our opponents are reality based, but
Yeah,
they're not financially based either. That's how they survive and continue and grow. They're a virus, they're a disease. They need to be compared to an illness, because then it's better to treat and then to cure, because a lot of people have been treating this issue in a different way, you know, as a conflict. I see it as a disease that needs to be treated and cured. That's why I link it to indoctrination. It's like an infection.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that is the case. It's a cult, and cults operate in many ways like diseases, infecting the minds just rather than the body. And as Mephisto X points out here, yes, it wasn't so long ago that people were saying, oh, it's only a small minority, don't pay them any mind or just ignore them. That's what we were saying about these fucking people a long, long time ago. Then it was what they were saying about us, even though it was demonstrably obvious that there are far more of us, far more people who are sick and tired of this crap. Even just the average Joe Blogs on the street is fucking tired of diversity, equity, and inclusion everywhere they go. They can't be themselves. They can't make jokes. They can't go to a stand-up gig because all the stand-up comics are quitting. There's no freaking comedy on TV anymore. You got to watch sitcoms from 30 years ago if you want to laugh now, which is why they were the highest streamed things on all platforms last year. Higher than any new movie. Everyone was watching Friends and Seinfeld and Cheers. That's what they were watching. Myself included. Me and Mrs. of the Fans. Just sitting watching that stuff. And this year. Because there's nothing good coming out. And now Hollywood went on strike and it all burned itself to the ground. And boy, am I on a massive tangent right now. But yeah.
Well,
it's
essentially, like Mercante, popular culture snapped.
Yes, it did. It had to. They were bending it too far. It has snapped now. And we are going to never stop. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing unless I'm unable to do it.
Well, I just like to say, Will, that's why I think this article by John De La Rose, the host and founder of the Fandom Pulse, is a great way of boiling this situation down. And it is an example of the 3 steps to victory along the revolutionary path. No more Kotakus, more Fandom Pulses, more That Park Places, more bounding into comics. That is a great example of the revolutionary path taking hold.
Absolutely. And I agree, because I'm actually not. I was a little bit kind of concerned when Bounding split, and then we had 3 sites. But now we have 3 sites. They're covering thrice the news. There are choices now. Which one do you like to go to most? Some people prefer Fan and Pulse. Some people That Park Place. Some people still use Bounding.
That's what happens.
Spoiled for choice.
Exactly. That's what happens though when a bubble gets too big. It has to burst.
Yeah, of course.
So that something new can, or not something new, but lots of new things can then grow from that. That's why the Fandom Menace had to collapse, because it was too big. It had to fail, and then
now you've got like
into
4 groups
bubbles.
now.
And then those bubbles will get too big, and then they'll burst, and then more bubbles will form. Unfortunately, that happens to all communities. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen to SNH for a very, very long time. But I think it's an inevitable process of growth and development that will make pop culture great again as more and more people are awake.
As Wank Shaftesbury says here, the sad thing is diversity was happening through talent organically, but forcing it in recent years with negative discrimination creates more division. Exactly. This is what I've been saying for a long time. A lot of people seem to never mention this anymore, but we were very tolerant 15, 20 years ago. We had plenty of representation of absolutely everybody, and it all happened naturally, and it was fine, and nobody minded or cared at all. Now, they're forcing it. They're changing facts into fictions, and we can see it happening. And when you say something about it, you're a racist. But it's like, okay, but I wasn't a racist 20 years ago, and I haven't changed my opinions. So what's changed? You, the people putting out the entertainment. You've changed. You've hired a bunch of cultural Marxists fresh out of universities, and they have come on and they've ruined everything, and we're pissed off. We're sick of it.
Oh, yeah.
It just gets worse and worse and worse. So we've had enough. We're not going to stop. And gaming is the place where it will happen first. Even though it's been happening for longer in TV and movies, gamers will not tolerate this shit. And I've pointed out again, till I'm blue in the face, we're mostly libertarian. We're very anti-authority gamers. We absolutely hate centralization. We hate authoritarianism. We hate this because we destroy these things in stories in video games all the time. Take down Ganondorf and his armies, take down evil empires, or space empires or whatever. We destroy authority. That's what we do. We're gamers. And any attempt to portray this movement as progressive is a fucking lie. It's authoritarian. It's not left versus right. It's up versus down. And then we won't stop. So anyway, moving on. Although before that, I need to point out that my good friend Ian has donated a Will of the Fans membership. Thank you very, very much. But back to Mercante then, because she just didn't stop. She went on and on and on. And of course, then we had only a couple of weeks ago, which was April 17th. Wow, it's actually like 3 weeks ago now, that she decided that it was time to up the ante considerably and start talking smack about literally us. You know, as she pointed out in a stupid tweet, which I'll see if I can get on screen again, if it's still available.
Will's face.
Yes, there
Look,
we go.
it's Will and Gooch and why
And
I
you.
do. I will say though, folks, I will agree. Oh, someone's gonna fucking clip this. I know. I will agree with Mercanti on one thing. Just one thing. Everyone who's showing themselves, except for me, is wearing a hat. And she did make a comment about that. And I think some other people responded by saying the only person who wasn't wearing a hat should wear a hat, which I found very, very funny in that regard. But yeah, you could have gotten a much better screenshot. I did for one of my thumbnails, make Atreus look like a clown. I didn't do that. He actually put that on. That's how powerful my white supremacy is. It's literal white magic. Turn yourself into a clown. And he did.
Okay. I don't know what to do with that, but but I guess racist hoods in the chat, guys, you know, same as usual. Anyway, so yeah, she obviously posted this picture of us talking to Grums on SNH. And she decided to act like she has ever been inclined to take the high ground, which of course we know she's not. She said she's not Michelle Obama. Well, no, that should be obvious because she exposes her body so often we can tell that she is a biological female. And she says she's not going to go high when we go low. And at the time, we hadn't said anything anywhere near as bad as I've said in the last hour
No,
about her.
absolutely
I
not.
mean, she is a fucking disgusting pus-filled cold sore on the anus of humanity.
Good to see, because I'm comparing myself now to when I was actually on that show, and that's at least a couple of episodes before. Good to see my beard's growing slightly, but my hair really is struggling, isn't it, folks?
I need a shave. Anyway, so yeah, she says every single one of these guys looks like they don't let the water run between their cheeks in the shower. What man wouldn't do that? It feels nice. Quite apart from anything else. But yeah, no, she says it's giving corpse breath. It's giving dry elbows, which I think is some ghetto language, as I pointed out in a video some time ago. I know their toenails are crazy. Well, I get pedicures because they're so cheap and I can take a nap. So my toenails are fucking
fetish.
spick and
Pure
span.
projection.
Well, she watches this stream anyway. We know she does because after what was his name? James Opp posted in our last stream that she had a nude ass video on her Twitter feed, and by the next day it was gone. So, well, you draw your own conclusions from that. Anyway, and the only reason I know that actually is because he super chatted Hypnotic on his stream to tell him to tell me that had happened. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. I was watching. Anyway, so she thinks that she's somehow the queen of YouTubers. What she doesn't realize is there is such a thing as bad press, and what she actually is to gamers and to YouTubers is literal cancer, industry cancer.
Oh yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
a blight that must be cleansed,
Especially given recent events. I mean, games journalists like this bitch are slowly but surely convincing publishers and developers that it's better to close down more studios than to make fucking games. A great example, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a little later, was the news that Xbox is closing down a few development studios, including Tango Gameworks, probably one of the few Bethesda studios that can make a good game at the moment, the makers of Hi-Fi Rush. And they also talk about how they need more games like Hi-Fi Rush while they close down developers that make games like Hi-Fi Rush. So it's fucking mental. Xbox is mental. It's like 2013 fucking mental.
Yeah, I mean, we can pivot to that briefly if you like.
God.
Yeah, they shut down 4 Bethesda studios. Tango Gameworks is gone, and others as well. The Xbox has literally no idea what the hell they're doing anymore. They don't have a place in the industry anymore. You know what I mean? Like they sold their position with Game Pass and making it a PC shopfront, there is no need to buy an Xbox anymore. So what's the point of them? They're not an alternative.
Game Pass was supposed to be Xbox's salvation. By the time of the Xbox One, they realized through their fuck up, not just in how they presented it, but with the Connect 2, with the price increase and all that nonsense, they knew that they had to build from the ground up. That's why they brought in Phil Spencer to create this new age for Xbox, the Game Pass machines, the Netflix of gaming, so they can make more money than fucking sense, which they have been making. Xbox is at its most profitable because of Game Pass. But as a result, they're cutting back. They're not investing, which means as a result of their acquisitions, of Bethesda, of ZeniMax, of Activision Blizzard / King, don't forget fucking Candy Crush. As a result of those acquisitions, folks, they've eaten too much. And now they've got to shut down talented developers like this or put them on a fucking shelf like they did with Rare back in the day. They bought Rare, put it on a shelf. It's like the Disney method of creating stuff. It's never going to work in the long run. And as a result, they're making more money than ever, but their product is lackluster because you've got the worst of the worst at the core of Xbox, especially their recent president, who is a diversity hire who probably plays Candy Crush. So expect plenty of King products under the Xbox banner, folks.
There sure aren't that many. There are not that many diverse gamers who don't play Candy Crush, unfortunately, at this point. But anyway, and yes, that was a Kenny Everett reference, Cupid stunt. So we get to the most recent thing, of course. Smash JT released a video about it, and it was simply the fact that I can't be bothered to bring up all the images, but basically somebody called Polished Games has been making a VR series where he executes people while in video games. I should point out, while calling out names of woke people, basically just woke industry people. And he said something along the lines of executing Kotaku, posted a thumbnail, had a picture of Alyssa in it, and it was retweeted by Smash JT. But there was another one as well, somebody made with a picture of a gun and a picture of Alyssa in the thumbnail. And Smash JT mistakenly, apparently, retweeted that. Alyssa got wind of it and flew off the handle and decided to attack him. And Smash, being the kind of nice dude that he is, a reasonable gentleman that he is, then decided that the best thing he could do would be to correct this error of offending somebody and delete the retweet, unretweet it, which then sent Alyssa into an absolute frenzy because, once again, this is ALYSSA MERCANTE we're talking about. And this woman cannot live in a world where people actually treat each other decently. She is batshit insane. So she immediately interpreted it as him running and hiding. As in, like, oh, I've been caught, so I'll delete it to save my face, which is the kind of behavior you see from her, blocking us for calling her out, protecting accounts like Sweet Baby Inc. did, or like that unbelievable bastard who came to back up Alyssa and said that people's mothers and wives should be strung up, and I'm still waiting for that guy to try and take on my wife because she'll kick his ass. But you know, this woman doesn't live in any world where someone might actually go, oh, you know what? I actually feel kind of bad for that. I'll delete it. That's the right thing to do. I don't want to boost this anymore. No, to her, that is someone trying to hide from her and her majestic Kotaku authorized journalist authority.
And that's why I tell people in this day and age, don't fucking apologize to these people.
Never.
You're giving them ground. Your thoughts are your own, ladies and gentlemen, and there is a difference between a lie and an error. So you always try your best to be reality-based, but you always try your best to stay consistent, stay dedicated, and stay principled. But in this day and age, you can't apologize to these fuckers. You give these fuckers ground, they will come for you and rip you to fucking shreds. Which
Every
is
time.
exactly what Mercante is trying to do. This is how you take on unprincipled people. You be unprincipled to unprincipled people. When someone shows you the fucking sword, what are you supposed to do?
Bow down and show them your fucking neck. Yeah, no.
And surrender? You can't be principled to unprincipled people. You can only be principled to principled people.
Yes, you can. You can't look for principle in this particular group because they, again, have absolutely no interest in fair discourse. They want total domination of all industries and pop culture so that they can access your children. We'll get to that in a little bit.
And that, and to me, Will, that makes the chances of reforming popular culture less and less likely, because you can't reform that which is unprincipled.
Yes, that's true. You're absolutely right, because like I said, they don't behave in any reasonable way. They're not behaving like people. The whole concept of that ridiculous farcical shit that went on last week, where all those women were saying they'd rather run into a wild bear in the woods than a man, because and I swear to you, Ryan, I heard a woman, a feminist, in one of these fucking videos. I heard a bitch say, "At least a bear can be reasoned with."
And people think the reformist path is at all possible with popular culture. What the fuck? You can't negotiate. You can't negotiate with people who think like this. That's why I personally think the reformist path to making pop culture great again is a fucking pipe dream, because they're crazy, and the people who follow them are fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a massive fire. You basically just have to contain it and let it burn itself to the ground and rebuild. You can't reason with fire. You can't reason with a bear. You can't reason with a leftist, because achieving actual fairness, equality, and diversity is not their goal. They are not willing to meet you in the middle on anything, not even for a freaking second.
I will say this, though, Will. Could have gotten a better picture of JT, couldn't you, John?
Yeah, I wondered about that. It's not the best picture, is it? Sorry if you're still watching Smash. I'll get this off the screen.
There you
go. The point is, ALYSSA MERCANTE could have read this good faith move from Smash JT to unpost the post that was offending her as what it was, a good faith attempt to make peace, to not, incriminate himself for a start, but also to not cause too much offense. Unfortunately, that's not the way it goes with these people. Like I said, they can't be reasoned with. So she immediately took it as the worst thing it could possibly be, misinterpreted his intentions, messaged him DMs, sending him multiple attacking statements, which I don't think he replied to. I think he said, I saw him on Side Scrollers recently, said didn't reply. So then she publicly went to his Twitter and said that she had found his wife's Facebook. And you've got to do quite a bit to get hold of that kind of stuff. She finds the Facebook and sends a nice big message asking the wife if she's okay or aware of the fact that her husband is stalking, harassing, and supporting death threats to women and to her, and blah, 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 blah. Fortunately, Smash JT's wife seems to be a level-headed kind of lady and didn't take it seriously, as you probably shouldn't if you're dating or married to a culture warrior in a YouTuber. You definitely should not freak out if you suddenly find yourself getting hate mail on behalf of your partner. I'm afraid that we are at the point now where that's something that can happen, but I'm pretty sure, speaking as a man who has a wife to be and a late mother, don't ever go near the women in my life. I will not have mercy ever.
I'd love to
try
say the
that.
same thing, Will, but everyone would just laugh if I said women in my life.
Yeah, well, I mean, not even just the women. If someone were to attack or go after my father, I'd have the same. Just do not go after the people that I consider to be under my protection, my responsibility, my care, my family.
I
Do
think
not
Lord-
involve families.
I
Go on.
think Lord got the joke.
What's that? Oh, you not having women in your life. I know. Well, I didn't know how to respond to that, Ryan, because I mean,
Laugh.
present a woman and then it will be funny.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. I didn't want to laugh because it then sounds like I'm complicit in the idea that you can't get a girl. But if I so I'll try to be nice by being silent. Anyway, get a girl, mate. It's not that hard. You're well spoken.
Oh my.
Some chicks dig that. Anyway, obviously Smash did what he should do. And in this case, which is, you're dealing with someone who can't be reasoned with under your own power, you have to escalate. It sucks because that's mostly what they end up doing. But on occasion, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, Kotaku, did you know that one of your editors is currently harassing me and DMing my wife? I mean, even on Facebook, it's just, that's where the real names are. And, like the actual real friends. You're smearing a man to his wife. That's just despicable behavior. You don't do that. Yeah, Lucky is right. I mean, I hate to go full Will Smith, but keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Yeah. There's a certain time where that is the correct response. And it is times like this when someone is unprovokedly attacking the people you love and care for. As a man, especially as a man, I'd say, or as a mother of a small child, if the child is being attacked, I'd imagine the impulse is the same. It's, I will ruin you if you try this. If you try to involve my family, my civilians that I consider to be part of my immediately close circle. This is so far past the line. To paraphrase Friends, you can't even see the line anymore. The line is a dot to you. It's just absurd that she thought this was in any way the correct thing to do, and I'm pretty sure it's a crime, isn't it, Ryan?
Well, I haven't checked the legal stats.
I don't know, but I think it is
quite a long time. But you have to understand, folks, as I always try to say when it comes to issues on the internet, it depends where the platform is based. It also depends where both sides in the situation are based. Because, folks, I know this sounds crazy, but if you're based in North Korea as a content creator, you can do whatever the fuck you like as long as you don't criticize the regime and legal practices from foreign countries don't impact you. It's a pretty extreme example, but to make it more moderate, if, say, for example, one of these creators was not American, and also say, for example, that the platform was not based in the United States, it wouldn't be subjected to the rules of the United States. Thankfully, in this case, I think both of them are based in the USA, I think, and the platform is too, so it's subject to the rules and regulations of the United States when it comes to speaking your mind and when it comes to defamation, libel, threats of violence or intimidation in that respect. Yeah, it's quite complicated.
Yeah, absolutely right. And so there you go. I mean, I can't say whether she's committed libel or slander or defamation or harassment, or if any of those are crimes in the context of a Facebook message. I don't know, but I do know that it is a deliberate attempt to disrupt somebody's personal life based on your political disagreement, and that's never okay. She deserves absolutely everything she gets, and by rights, she really should not be working for Kotaku anymore. But then, by rights, Kotaku really should not exist anymore either. So there you go. Alyssa, if you've been watching all this, you can go fuck yourself, you dumb bitch. I don't see the point in trying to be nice or civil anymore when you are clearly incapable of it. You can just get in the sea, you dumb hag.
She looks like a bisexual mother. That's what she looks like.
Ugh. Grim. But we do have another topic that we need to talk about, and we're actually running out of time because I knew that would be a mammoth. So the other thing was the David Tennant thing, because even though this is not WoTF Live, I'm pretty sure that WoTF Live will be consumed by reviewing 2 episodes back to back of the new progressive, gay, black, non-binary, ultra-diverse, Disney-fied Doctor Who. And I'm sure we won't have time to cover this, but it does need to be covered. I've done a video about it. It came out about an hour before the stream went live, or a little bit longer than that. And it's doing quite well. Check it out if you'd like to see me be extremely snarky about this subject, but also a little bit serious. Let's go have a smoke. I don't smoke anymore, mate. I quit.
Wait, you don't smoke fags, Will? What's the point of this fucking show unless we smoke fags? Ideally with a flamethrower.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can say that. I don't know if that is grounds for demonetization or, but who fucking cares anymore anyway? So the other problem that we've been having is that one of our favorite actors, David Tennant, is a deranged fucking lunatic. This has been going on for quite a long time, but has reached the point of him actually being completely insane. Like he's destroying his own image now. Like even though he's been an oddball weirdo LGBT supporter for quite a while, along with his mad wife, he hasn't been offensive to anyone until just now. And unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. As I said in my video, I think I said there was a time when I would have called David Tennant the most bafflingly incredible actor that I'd ever seen. Now he's the most incredibly baffling activist.
From my perspective, folks, and I'm sure Will will agree with me, pardon the pun, David Tennant was one of the actors, the models of emulation. Although Doctor Who kicked his career up a gear, he did have many talented roles before that.
Yeah, he was Casanova just right before that. That's how he met Russell T Davies, I think.
And as that continued, his prominence and his prestige continued. And it's only in recent years, this decade even, that age has started to show on his face. But he still has the same general look he had 20 years ago.
Pretty much.
The only difference is, folks, 2005 and 2024 are vastly different in terms of attitudes, in terms of the strength of the establishment, and in terms of the strength of what I like to call the alliance of alternatives. The establishment's rattled. That's why 20 years ago, they were in a comfortable position. They were top dogs. No one could touch them. They could do what they want, and everyone adored their work for the most part. Now, it's like a 180. Everything is meticulously analyzed. Content creators out there have really flipped the balance without even being the change they want to see, because many of us are reformers rather than revolutionists in that respect. And that, plus the political correctness, the social justice, and the identity politics, it's driven our opposition insane out of fear of losing their positions of power. That's where the fear turns to anger, turns to hate, turns to suffering, to use a Star Wars term. And yeah, it's driving everyone mad.
I love that quote because it literally is what happens to Anakin Skywalker. So it's a very good quote. Yeah, I mean, that's David Tennant as the 10th Doctor, who is the most beloved of all the Doctors of the modern era. He was very funny for a start. He was very emotive, very relatable in many ways and completely unrelatable in others. He was able to completely steal a scene. Any scene didn't matter. He was, I mean, hell, he's even a Scotsman doing a London accent, and that was impressive.
He could theoretically, folks. David Tennant could have done a Tom Baker and been there for about a decade, because even in the 50th anniversary, he didn't look any older even after a few years of not being the Doctor. Of course, here as the 14th Doctor, age is starting to show on his face.
But 10 years ago, when he was in Day of the Doctor, the 50th anniversary, he pretty much just they fucked up his hairdo, but he looked more or less the same, just pretty much the same. Now, he looks. I mean, I maintain that they made him look a bit disheveled because you can't have a white guy looking good anymore. You know, and I'm not going to get into the plot details of why they chose to make him look so scruffy, but yeah, whatever. He was the favorite. He was the guy. He was the guy that nobody believed the show could limp on without. When he regenerated, people were crying. Fucking, I was shedding tears because I really loved that character. It was an inspiration for a lot of young men. You know, a pacifist hero who still took down his enemies without firing a single shot,
and somehow still killed everyone in the process. That was
but only when he had to. But anyway, he's a great character. It was a shame to see him go, but of course we got Matt Smith, who was more than up to the challenge, so that was fantastic. A lot of people really had their doubts, myself included, about such a young actor taking over, but it worked.
It supercharged his career like nothing else could.
Well, Tennant, he left the show and had kind of been defined by the role so much that the only roles he could get after that were playing villains, or he never made it into like Hollywood or anything like that. He did Jessica Jones season 1, which he was excellent in as Kilgrave, as the Purple Man. Because he was a totally sinister, vile bastard in that, and that was such a departure from his completely benevolent, loving, optimistic Doctor that you know, people were just tuning in to see if he could be a bad guy. And ironically, he'd been bad guys in lots of shows before, which he was great at, but no one had seen him. So Jessica Jones showed us that he was not a one-trick pony. But again, he still never really went anywhere. He settled down. He had a family. He married the girl who played his doctor's daughter in an episode of Doctor Who, but in real life was also the actual daughter of the actor who had played the 5th Doctor on the show. And they had a bunch of kids. And somehow at some point, I don't know, I missed a few years of this, they both went completely and utterly full fucking trans nuts. They went crazy.
If I were to guess a year, Will, I'd guess one of 2 years, 2016 and 2020.
Around about the time that the news started tightening, But to have gone all the way from being totally apolitical in public to full trans supporter, I mean, you didn't even go down the pride or racism stuff. You know, you just re-emerged as this mental fucking child mutilation advocate.
Well, if the employer demands it, I mean, the diversity, inclusivity, and equity requirements were first put in by the BBC around 2017, around that era, 2016, 2017, and it's only continued to advance since then. So that's why I say it's either 2016 or 2020. And let's remember, folks, actors act. They're paid professional liars. That's why I always have to keep an eye on Coach, because I never really believe anything he says, because he's a paid professional liar. That's what actors are, ladies and gentlemen. So for all we know, it could have been a fucking act and he's always believed this, or for all we know, they're both acting to stay in the industry that made them. We don't know at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, you know enough that he's, I mean, where's the picture? It's not actually in the article, but if you actually see their eldest son, I think his name is Ty or something, completely androgynous. Yeah, I'm trying to find a picture now. Oh yeah, here we go. Hold on. There you go. And both he and his wife go freaking insane about the trans kids issue. So it's not just the rights of people to be able to make informed decisions as adults to change genders. Well, you can't change genders, but if you could, the closest approximation that anyone has been able to find so far to actually changing gender, that it's not about that. It's about the kids. You gotta let the kids be. he's got a T-shirt on here, which I found hilarious when it turned out to be from a company called Crooked.
Is the founder a black man by chance?
I mean, it just works on so many levels because the entire fucking concept of promoting trans as a good thing for your health is crooked, but so are many. What can I call them? Because I can't use your phrase. Oh, I know.
Nah, demons, like demons.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
it's like naming a gay company Bent.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, these people are screwed up after they've gone through with it. They're physically crooked, you know.
I mean,
So
that
anyway,
statement right here, Will, leave trans kids alone, you absolute freaks. And
yeah,
my
the only thing
response
wrong
would
with
be,
that?
yes, leave trans kids alone, you absolute freaks, and they wouldn't be trans anymore. It's pure projection on
Yeah.
the part of the establishment that are treating today's children like the fucking Aztec priests treated their child sacrifices.
Actually, yeah, I was thinking of trying to do like one of those corporate needs you to tell the difference pictures, and you have a picture of the Tennant family and then a picture of a child on an altar about to be sacrificed to some kind of
Nah, demons, like demons.
and ultimately they're the same picture.
They're sacrificing the next generation for a current day cause.
I
And
can't
the backlash
imagine.
that's going to come from that, assuming the people who have been inflicted with this survive, because, 41% and all that, assuming they survive, there's going to be one hell of a backlash. You guys ever heard
It's
of
not
that?
just going to be a backlash. There's going to be a dramatic cull of the population.
I mean, Will, what was that thing they did to people? Lobotomies, that's the one. This is going to make the lobotomy scandal, the fucking, what was that other one? Formaldehyde scandal, and the blood scandal when Brits were getting American prisoners' blood, and it turned out to have AIDS in it. It'll make all those scandals look like fucking a day out on the beach.
I mean, this is the thing, we discovered in my video I went into, I don't think we're going to have time now in this stream, but there was a Cambridge Scholars book that was published based on a ton of research. It's literally called The Invention of Trans Children. And that is it. I mean, it was a completely invented, fabricated thing. My quick fix for this T-shirt would be to just literally remove the word trans. Just have it say, leave kids alone, you absolute freaks. Which is basically what we
the
had
name
when
of the company is not Crooked.
No, it would be straight. But anyway, no, the point is that David Tennant is absolutely insane now. He's going on. He says when he was a kid, the idea of being non-binary wasn't something that existed. Yeah. And the funny thing about that is that the devil's in the details. And what he's actually said here is the truth. It didn't exist. It's not that it was suppressed or that people just hadn't discovered it yet. It didn't exist then. It didn't exist 20 years ago. It didn't exist 200 or 2,000 or 20,000 or 200,000 years ago. And it doesn't exist now. Children are basically asexual. I mean, they're not completely. Kids, like little boys, can see pictures of pretty women and wonder why they like them so much and ask their dads. And that's fine. If you've got a good dad, he'll explain it to you. But the point is, they don't understand, and they are not meant to understand the impulses until the time when their bodies develop the way that they are supposed to. Nature doesn't make mistakes that often. There cannot be suddenly this many children who are confused about what they are without some external force, some social force.
I call it a sexual ideology, ladies and gentlemen. This is what culture does. Nature is like the blank canvas of what is and isn't, what's possible, what's not possible. And it's up to culture to decide what the fuck are we going to do with what nature has provided us. Now, some ideologies are like, no, you can't do any of that until you're a full stage adult. And there are some societies, especially in third world shitholes, who are like, do it as early as possible. We need as many people as possible right fucking now. Hence the population booms. And we as civilized people have to find a balance. And that balance, I believe, was found in the late 1990s and early 2000s. But you can also argue that that's when the rot started, which has really rotted things up into the 2010s, 2020s, and beyond, if we follow the reformist path.
100%. Yeah. Anyway, the point is he says the same old spiel we've heard 1,000 years from everybody, but with the slight change that David Tennant has never been rude to the fans. Until now, he says, fuck off and let people be. Well, I'll say the same to you then, Mr. Tennant. Literally, fuck off and let children be.
Here's to the death of his legacy through Dr. Nkati Gatwa.
Yeah, fair enough. And his literal legacy too, apparently. Anyway, fuck off, Tennant. We were never that close.
Thank
Time
you,
to wrap
fuck
up.
you, bye, to quote Jim Cornette, who is a bit of a Dixie demon rat, but who can blame him? He's from the South.
Correct. But that's it then. Time to wrap up the stream. Unfortunately, we are almost out of time. So I will be quite benevolent and put the rather lovely fan art that I found of Lulu for the thumbnail on the screen for you people. And Ryan, would you like to do your outro, sir?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching the 17th episode of Will of the Fans Live. See what he did there in that respect. We've got plenty of timestamps for potential videos that will most likely be released over the course of the next few weeks. We do have quite the backlog, but yes, tonight, 9 p.m. UK time, reality-based entertainment will be live. We'll talk a bit blooper. We'll be talking a little bit about, you know, topics of the day. I won't mention Mercante because we've already talked about Mercante, but we'll talk a little bit about what's been going on in regards to Xbox, talk a bit what's been going on in regards to the successor to Nintendo Switch, the Super Nintendo Switch, if they have any fucking sense in Japan. And yeah, well, mostly gaming topics, because there will be no reality-based gaming tomorrow. Third's on another fucking holiday. My goodness. But yeah, plenty of videos, plenty of shows, of course, reality-based music this Sunday at 9 p.m. UK time. And of course, you can always catch me on Saturday Night Hypnosis, where I think Madame Savvy will be on, if I've got her name right. Lovely lady. Looks like Sydney Sweeney. So I'm sure Atreus will have a great time.
Fair enough. Good. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Eris Rhoda has used her 2-month membership to say great hangout. Sorry, I'll miss Sunday because of work. No problem. Eris, just watch the VOD. We'll be very happy to entertain you at your leisure. And Andy C for 10 $1 dues. Thank you. And both of you get an air horn. Saying another good show. Cheers, guys, and see you next time. Likewise, see you next time, and thank you very much for the support. Yes, this is episode 17 of WTF Live. We will be back with this show on Tuesday of next week, but don't forget, for that, we have Goldie joining the ranks as usual on Sunday for WoTF Live, where we will be reviewing the first 2 episodes of Doctor Who Season 1, 14 or 40, as produced by Disney, as ruined by Russell T. Davies, and starring an insufferable, spoiled, bigoted, racist refugee. Can I
am the
really
Doctor.
say that?
Can't even say
give me
doctor.
the loving.
He can't even say doctor properly.
No,
I am the Doctor.
It's going to be a shit show. So we'll be reviewing both episode 1 and episode 2 of those on Sunday with Goldie. And I'm at this point, I'm just expecting it to be a total shit show. So stay tuned for that. Till then, I'll be posting videos every day for you for your enjoyment. So don't miss those either. And we'll see you for this show on Tuesday. Thank you very much to everyone in the chat. Friends and online friends alike. Mods, you've done a great job as always. And thank you to everybody who went the extra mile and donated or sent in super chats and everything. You guys really do make a difference, so I appreciate it very much, and so does my baby to be. We'll be back very soon then, but until then, it's time for us to tag out and say see you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.